Hey guys, Corey Ogilvy here. Today I'm going to show you what I think is the fastest way to edit weddings. In specific, it's what I call the everything edit. And that's when a client tells you simply, I want an edit with everything. They think it's really easy, but it's not. There's a lot of things you still have to do. So I'm going to show you today what I think is the simplest way of thinking about it and executing the edit. Before I do that, I want to remind you guys that we made an AI plugin called Shakefree. It's perfect for wedding editing. What it does is it removes a lot of the grunt work by removing the ugly shakes so that when you start your edits, you can flow a lot better and you'll get your edits done quicker. Okay, so how the heck do we edit this everything edit? What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna show you two fundamental rules. Those are the way we think about it. And then what I'll do is I'll demonstrate for you the actual technique on some real wedding footage. All right, let's get started. So first I'm going to show you the hotkeys in Premiere that you need to make sure you have. Ripple delete, set it to the grave key, that's right here. And then for the macros, make sure that for macros you have O with play. And that's when you press O, it maps out the keys to O, ripple delete, and then spacebar. It presses all three in place for O. Use Keyboard Maestro to use this. Check out our channel or Google more about macros. They're incredible. I'm not going to go too much in length about them now. So make sure that you have those two set up. And now let's take a look at these here. So the first red rule, redundant, erratic, dead time. I'll show you an example of dead time because that's actually quite rare. Here's a good example where the groom is just waiting. So beautiful shot, beautiful moment, and then there's dead time. So when a client says I want an everything edit, they don't want to see this. They don't mean this for everything, right? So that's a little bit more nuanced, whereas erratic and redundant are pretty obvious. Redundant just means if the shots are identical, and then erratic just means if it's shaky. So let me just show you a couple quick examples here. So even that is shake, right? At the beginning, how it comes back like that. Clients just want to see the actual camera move, right? So erratic, and then this is redundant, perfect. We can see both. So just in this single shot, you saw erratic right there. And then you saw redundant because it goes both directions. The shooter's giving us options, but the client doesn't want to see both, right? They just want to see the best one. Usually the second one is better, but I'm just going to pick the first here. So at least now you've seen already examples of these three when you're editing. Keep that in mind. And then here, let's go down here, 3 to 5 seconds for B-roll shots. So that's what we have here is lots of B-roll. So I'm just going to demonstrate. I'm not going to edit to music. That'll just sort of interfere. I can just talk us through it. So you can see that whole thing is erratic. Clients don't want to see that. Again, erratic. Okay, now it's stable. Yeah, it was okay. But let's see the length here. See, that's 4 seconds. And then this one here, and this was just me editing organically. This one here is almost 3 seconds. So for B-roll, I'm just gonna come down here, try to get some, like here again. So this is another example of redundant. You have one football shot, you have another football shot, you have another football shot, you have another, you have 4, you have look at that, you have like 7. The client doesn't want to see 7 shots of the football in the everything edit. Just pick the best one. I'm just going to pick this one randomly. Pretend that was the best. And again, if you look at the duration, it's between 3 and 5 seconds. Just under 3 seconds. Now let's look at group photo shots, because this happens in Western weddings, Indian weddings, where you have these sort of Indian weddings, they happen a lot more than Westerns, but you have sort of repeat people coming for photos, right? And basically you want to make sure you give at least 4 to 5 seconds for each, showing them smiling. Three seconds is too quick. I find brides, they complain that it just feels too fast. That's why it's one, you might think, what a small difference, but it makes a big difference. Keep it at minimum 4 seconds. Now let's see how long that one ended up. I just sort of went natural with it. 4 seconds, 20 frames. So, and then just keep doing it. And then, so for here again, this is all dead time here. We want I guess that's a bad example. There we go. Okay, here we go. Again, just show 4 seconds. It feels like it's enough time for the clients to get a really good feeling of the people. Okay, now speeches, games, and performances. Again, at Western weddings, Indian weddings, they happen all the time. Just give me 1 second here. Just gonna undo. And so here's an example of a speech. And this is interesting because he's actually talking off camera, but you have to, anytime people speak into a microphone, you have to keep 100% of it in, right? That's why it says 100%.
I want to welcome everyone tonight. You've been part of a few traditions.
Okay, so you could hear him, I don't know if you could hear that well, but that's basically just him introducing the tradition, describing it to the non-Indian audience. Now the bride wants to hear that in the everything edit. So usually you're going to be editing this B-roll to music, and this is a case where you actually have to jump out of music mode and into live audio mode. So it's really important as a fundamental filter that you're constantly listening, because if you just edit this to music and the client remembers that the introduction happened, you missed it. You literally erased something from their wedding. Now finally, with weddings, there's always dancing. Indian weddings, a lot more. And just 1 sec here. So with dancing, again, remember, this is the everything edit. The client wants to see everything. So with dancing, what do you remove, right? Same rule applies for dead time. Sometimes the shooters might go to the washroom and just leave the camera set up. But if there's another shooter shooting at the same time, always ignore the camera that's not being operated. Focus on the camera that's moving. And again, this is all stable, right? But at some point it's gonna get really, really, really shaky, potentially, usually towards the end of the clip. See that the client does not want that in the everything edit. I'm going to use this as an opportunity actually just to say that we actually have a plugin called Shakefree. That's what we make at our company. And it's an AI plugin that's designed perfectly for these scenarios, which are really annoying as an editor. It will actually delete this automatically. It'll do what I'm going to do right now. It will do it automatically. So it will do this automatically. So when you're editing, this is what you're going to see. Right? And the same thing here, this ugly shake, you want to get rid of that. So this is what the clients should see in the everything edit. So that's why Shakefree is an awesome plugin. Check it out outside of this tutorial. So anyway, that's basically how this runs, guys. This is really, really simple. And as long as you have this set of rules, then when you're, when you have to edit, just 1 second. What do we got here? 2.5 hours of footage. So a wedding that's 8 hours long and the client says they want everything, it gets a lot easier. So I hope you can see with a simple set of rules, the everything edit becomes a lot easier and more manageable. Now this is really important because it's not just about you. If you expand and you hire other editors to work for you, they need you to give them a manual, right? They need you to give them a set of guidelines by which to edit by. And if you already have a set that you follow and you can coach that to them, they will follow it, right? When you coach something to somebody that you yourself do, their retention is always far greater. So thanks for watching, guys. I hope this helps. Remember, combine this technique with Shakefree to get even more time savings. That's our ultimate goal here at Wobble. Please subscribe for more videos like this, and I'll see you next time.